Out of all the many videos that we've done for both Marvel and DC comics on this channel, also including the shorts dedicated to Star Wars and indie comics, I think my favorite videos that I've done have to be for some of the stories that came from DC's Black Label line of books, because they just feature the darkest subject material. They go in the places that usual comics won't go. It's very unpredictable, even for characters like Batman, who are the most predictable, which makes it really interesting when you have a book that I've been wanting to cover for a while, like Joker Killer Smile, written by Jeff Lemire, who's done a lot of great work that I really love, probably one of the best writers in comics in general, and Andrea Sorrentino, who's he's probably my single favorite artist ever at this point, considering how much work he does and how good it always looks. These two took a story about a character who's kind of hard to center a story around and made it really interesting, and actually told a story that's really unique about an original character that doesn't actually exist in the DC universe. So I think it's finally time to just jump into the first issue of the 3-part series. Beauty. That is all I have ever wanted. I want to create things that no one has ever seen before. I want the sublime. I aim to give my audience a challenge, what they need and not what they want. Happiness. Laughter. That is true beauty. Life is meant to be savored. This is the monologue that the story opens up with, and we realize it's coming from Joker himself inside Arkham Asylum, as he's recounting one of the events where he killed dozens of people, launching a bunch of green and purple balloons into the air, descending into the city streets, and then exploding upon making contact with any living person or inanimate object, and releasing a bunch of Joker gas. We then hear another voice say, "I can't tell if you're being sincere or if this is just part of an act." And then we see Joker in his padded cell across the glass from a psychiatrist named Dr. Ben Arnell. "Well, doctor," Joker says, "if you can't tell when I'm telling the truth or not, it's gonna be a little hard for you to diagnose me." Ben scribbles something in his notes, and he looks up at him with a smile. "Oh, I'm not here to diagnose you, Joker. We all know what you are. No, I'm here to cure you." And in classic Joker fashion, he stops for a minute, remaining silent, before bursting into laughter. The doctor challenges him. "You don't think that's possible? You don't want that?" Joker looks off to the side pensively, really considering what he asked him. You know, no one has asked me what I want in a long, long time. But let me ask you, Doc. Say you could cure me. What would that do for the hundreds of thousands of people that I've already killed? Would creating a sane, healthy man bring them back?" And the doctor just looks at him. Joker tilts his head down, looking probably the most serious we've ever seen him, saying, "No, this isn't about me at all, is it? Or my victims. This is about you." We then cut to an office where Dr. Arnell is talking to his boss, and we can see Joker sitting in his cell on the monitors. "Is he right? Is this just an ego thing with you, Dr. Arnell?" And Ben says, "Of course not. Just think, if we could break through with an extreme case like him, probably the most extreme, if we could build a model from that, think about what we could do for other patients facing similar forms of psychosis. Think, if we can help him, we can help anyone." And she looks at him saying, "Your idealism is commendable, Ben, but you must know that I've heard all of this before from many other doctors." He's like, "Of course I know that, Dr. Hutchins, but this is such an opportunity. We have to try." And she looks down at his notes saying, "I've heard that too. I'm afraid I'm not going to recommend extending your treatment. I just can't risk it. You have a couple more weeks, and then you have to move on to other inmates." "But doctor..." "That's it, Ben. 2 more weeks. I'm not going to risk losing another young mind to that animal." And Ben looks down at his coffee, disappointed, before taking a final sip and saying, "Fine, I understand. And I think I'm close." And he goes for a refill before she crosses her arms saying, "Good, I hope you're right." At the end of the day, when the sun sets, Ben jumps in his car and leaves Gotham, heading just outside the city to his home. He pulls into the driveway and walks into his living room to be greeted by his son and his wife, Simon and Anna. "Dad's home," Simon screams to his mom sitting on the couch. "He sure is, and only an hour late." "Sorry," Ben says. "I had a meeting, and traffic out of the city was insane. How was your day, Simon?" "Good," Simon answers, detailing this fictional tank that he put together. "Nice," Ben says. "How was your day, Anna?" And she gestures towards the kitchen. "Oh, you know, same old, same old. You guys hungry? The takeout just got here." And Ben says, "Sounds good. I'm starving." And they head into the kitchen, talking and laughing. And you just gotta wonder, with this being a story named after the Joker, what is going to happen to this family? Well, then we start reading children's books. We start reading from the first page. "Once upon a very long time ago, there was a happy, happy place and a happy, happy forest. And wouldn't you just know it, this place was even called Happyville. Oh, and Happyville was the happiest place there ever was. And everyone in Happyville knew each other, and they were all the very best of friends. But all that was about to change. You see, on the last Saturday of the last week in Happyville, a new friend came to town. He called himself Mr. Smiles. And boy oh boy was he a character. Mr. Smiles carried a strange thing in his hand, and all the curious critters of Happyville gathered around to see what it was. Mr. Smiles was more than happy to give a demonstration of his amazing contraption. Step right up, he declared as he pulled the starting cord, and the rumble of the device's small engine, the smell of diesel fumes, filled the spring air. And then we step outside the story to see Ben reading this to his son. And so the blades and teeth of Mr. Smiles' happy machine began to spin and spin. This is a weird book, Simon. Where did you get this? You gave it to me, Dad, remember? I did? Well, maybe we should read something else before bed. No, Dad, you promised you'd read the whole thing, come on! He's like, okay. And he turns the page to see a bunch of the beheaded characters in the story, clearly being mutilated by the chainsaw. He closes the book and says, Jesus! No, I think that's all for tonight, Simon. Come on, Dad. No, that's it, bedtime, okay? And Simon lays down and says, fine, good night. And Ben leaves the room saying, good night, Simon, I love you. He steps into the room with his wife where she's on the bed reading her own book, and she asks, are you okay? And Ben, still looking at the book, says, yeah, you've been off all week, Ben, what is going on? Nothing, I'm just tired from work. She's like, I'll be happy when you are done and out of there. Come on, Anna. No, I don't care. Ben, I know it's important to you, but it's not right. No one should be left alone with that animal. It's not healthy or safe, and I don't want you bringing any of it home. And ironically, Ben puts the book down and says, I'm not, and I won't. Trust me, Arkham is probably the most fortified place in the city. She lays a head on his shoulder and says, oh really? How many times has he escaped from that place already? And he starts unbuttoning his shirt, saying, and each time they improve the place. But don't worry, it's not going to be long. Hutchins pulled the cord. I only have 2 weeks left with him, and then it's back to private practice uptown, safe and sound. She kisses him on the cheek before laying down, saying, the problem is why you sound so disappointed when you say that. And as she lays down, he starts taking his shirt off. You don't think I'm doing this for ego, do you? I mean, you think I'm doing this for the right reasons, right? And they turn off the light and lay down together. She lays her head on his shoulder again, saying, of course you are. It's not about him, or you. You told me that 12 times before you even started this. She closes her eyes and says, you're a good man, Ben. Sometimes you just think too much. And he looks up at the ceiling, staring, before falling asleep and seeing black. As Ben dreams, he dreams of a purple balloon. Nothing else, no one else. It simply floats up in the air. Ben wakes up in the middle of the night to hear a scratching sound, illuminated by the purple of the balloon. He feels out of body, different, in a way he can't explain. He gets up out of bed and wanders down the hall. He peers into his son's bedroom, who's fast asleep, before heading down to the main floor, where he continues hearing the scratching. He looks down the basement steps before calling out, hello? Is someone down there? He starts heading down the steps into the darkness and sees a green door in his basement that he's never seen before. He hears the scratching again. Ben, still illuminated in purple light, stands in front of the door, just wondering what could be behind it. He wonders what's inside. He tries to fight it, but the curiosity is overwhelming. Ben's purple hand reaches out to the handle of the green door before... Ben? What are you doing down here? Nothing, It's okay, I'm just checking on something in my office. Go back to sleep. Sleep? Ben, it's almost 8. Ben stops in his tracks. What? No, I just woke up, and quit messing around down here. I need to get Simon to school. You'd better get dressed too, or you're gonna be late. Come on. She heads back upstairs, with Ben just standing there, looking up at her, confused. We're then taken back through another one of Joker's memories, a time where he filled a subway car full of people with water and Jokerized piranhas. This would have been, what, 8 years ago? Ben asks. Yeah, that was a good one, Joker answers, the looks on those people's faces. It's almost like performance art to you, isn't it? Ben asks, and we see this memory play out as all the people are flushed out, some of them already dead, while others catch their breath. Joker and his henchmen enter the frame, and he starts beating the rest of the survivors to death with a crowbar, giving the Jokerized fish more liquid to breathe through. But the fish, how did you do that? A magician never reveals his secrets, Ben, Joker says. No, but seriously, you must have some kind of background in chemistry to accomplish this, right? Is that what happened to your face? A lab accident? And Joker says, you want to play the secret origin game? I warn you, I'm really good at that one. I mean, I never lose. And he gets real serious again. You want to know where I came from? And Ben looks equally serious back at him, saying, yes. Joker looks off in the distance again. Once upon a very long time ago, there was a happy, happy place in a happy, happy forest. And wouldn't you just know it, this place was even called Happyville. Oh, and Happyville was the happiest place there ever was. And everyone in Happyville knew each other. And they were all the very best of friends. Ben's life flashes before his eyes, and he runs out of the room, tipping his chair over, and Joker laughs, watching him run out. He heads to the bathroom, splashing his face with water, but as he attempts to calm down, he can hear the rest of the story in his head. After Mr. Smiles came to town, Happyville wasn't so happy anymore. In fact, the curious critters who survived Mr. Smiles' arrival could barely remember ever being happy at all. Ben notices some blood on the edge of the sink, and then turns around to see more on the floor. Then, one day, one brave little creature worked up the courage to go to Mr. Smiles' house and knock on the door. When Mr. Smiles answered, the little critter asked him, "Why did you do that, Mr. Smiles? Why did you hurt all those nice animals?" Ben turns around to see his stall door closed with blood. Mr. Smiles thought about it for a moment and then answered, "Well, why don't you just come inside and I'll tell you." Ben then pushes the stall door open, and he sees another worker, dressed in all white, bloodied down the face, completely Jokerized, with the words "ha ha ha ha" written in blood across the wall. Ben steps back in horror, covering his mouth, before slipping, falling on the ground, and looking up at his hands, that have no blood on them. The man then walks out of the stall, not Jokerized at all, pulling up his pants, saying, "What the hell, man?" And Ben says, I'm sorry, and the story continues. The little fellow knew that it was a trick from Mr. Smiles. "If I come into your house, you'll just hurt me too." And Mr. Smiles said, "You're goddamn right I will, but won't you come in anyway?" We then jump back to Joker's cell, where he's using colored pencils to draw the character of Mr. Smiles, and the issue closes out as we hear the rest of the story. The animal paused on the threshold of Mr. Smiles' door, uncertain, and then he took one step forward. Mr. Smiles had been hiding a big old knife behind his back, and he proceeded to stab and stab and stab. As the animal lied there dying on the floor, Mr. Smiles asked, "You knew that would happen. Why on earth did you come inside?" And with his dying breath, the poor little creature responded, "Because I needed to know how it feels." And we end on a big old grin from the Joker. He has successfully invaded this man's mind. We just don't understand how much yet, or what's gonna happen, or what any of it means. This is just the beginning of a 3-part series, a series that I love so much. I think this came out when I was like 17 and still, getting used to buying my own comics for the first time, and this just struck me at like the perfect age, the perfect time, and I've loved it ever since. I've reread it non-stop, and I've been wanting to talk about it on this channel for a long time, and I'm so glad to finally be doing it. So if you liked it just as much as I do, please hit that like, comment down below, give me any of your thoughts, any of your theories if you haven't read the story, and let me know that you want me to continue it on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. That is the video. Thank you for watching.